Hey YouTube, Paul Phillips here with Patek Photography and Gear Reviews. I know what you're thinking, not another Yongnuo radio trigger review. Well, it's the first Yongnuo product that we've looked at, so you're just going to have to grin and bear it. But I'll make it interesting for you. I'm going to compare these radio triggers to our Powersink 16s, which we've had for a couple of years. And unlike many others who are using the latest in camera gear, we're going to review them on a couple of D200s with a couple of SB600 Speedlights, which I've always found to be a great product. So here we go. First things first, the Powersink 16s, we've had them for onwards of 2 years. Build quality, usability, functionality, I don't really have any issues with them. They work really well is what I'm saying. We haven't had any mechanical failures, nothing like that. You get a transmitter and a receiver. We paid $149. I think the downside with the Powersinks is really just the price and the value at the price point. So $149 for what you're getting. You get some other cables that come with them. However, they don't come with the cable to fire your camera remotely, and if you want that cable, you got to pay $50 from B&H. So to me, that's kind of the downside or the negative with the Powersink 16s. So in walk the Yongnuo RF-603Ns, and wow, for $50 from Amazon.ca, you get 2 of these puppies and a cable comes with it. So we bought 2 sets. We've got 2 spare cables to use now if we want to, and we bought them to fire our camera remotely. That was the sole reason or purpose for getting them. So at that price, all I can say is run down to the store and get them, or run to Amazon and get a set. If for no other reason to fire your camera remotely, you really can't lose. Build quality on the product, my first impression is excellent. For the price, God, I mean, you can't complain. You got a metal hot shoe on top, your on-off switch here. I know the location of the on-off switch is a bit of an issue, and we'll talk about that briefly. Lens focus, shutter release button on top. On the back, you got a PC sync port if you want to use them with alien bees or something like that. And I know the cleat on the bottom, some people complain about it being too easy to slip on and off. I haven't really had an issue with that. I find it snug enough for what we do in the studio or out in the field. I haven't had an issue. You know, I guess if you're on a real windy day, you want to be careful, but so far so good. On the side of the Yongnuo, there's a little port here for your remote cable to plug into. On the back, you remove the panel, you got 2 AAA batteries that power them up, which is convenient. Your dip switches, take the batteries out, you got them right in the center, so if you're out in the field and you're competing with other photographers, you don't want to be firing their flashes and vice versa, you can play with your dip switches. But all in all, a pretty good deal for $50 for a set of 2 of them. And like I said, we have a set of 4. The only issue I've run into with them, or the thing that I've noticed, and make no mistake, these are not TTL triggers. I mean, your cameras should be in manual mode, your Speedlights are in manual mode. That's the way we use them. So just be aware of that. One issue, on older SB600s, or SB600s period, I've noticed that the Yongnuos will not wake up the Speedlights. So the workaround is just to go into the custom settings and take the Speedlights off of standby mode, and you're back in business, no issues. And I have done 2 or 3 shoots. I don't find leaving the Speedlights on all the time or taking them off standby mode so they don't go to sleep. I don't find that runs down the batteries. I find the Eneloop batteries, they power the Speedlights really well. I can get through a shoot. You're doing a wedding, it might be a different story. But for an hour shoot, 2-hour shoots, like the kind of things that we do, I haven't had an issue. So one other thing you might want to do with them, which is the sole reason that we purchased them, and that is self-portraiture. So let me show you this. I'm sure you've seen this before in other reviews, but if you're by yourself and you want to take a picture of yourself, you know, you're doing portraits, you want to get the eyeballs in focus. So take a tripod stand or something like this and focus your lens on the mark here. So you're 90% sure, you know, your eyeballs are going to be in focus. Well, it takes you to 100% if you can focus the camera lens. You can't see it here, but it is moving. If you can press the lens focus or the shutter release button on your radio trigger, you know, the odds of getting closer to 100% tack sharp focus on your eyes, I mean, that's a big benefit. So there you go. Last word on these radio triggers, run out and buy a set. Keep them in your bag. You'll find them handy as all get out. And that's my review, a comparison between the Powersinks and the Yongnuos. I know that there's another set of Yongnuo triggers out there for Canon, which are called 622s, which are ITTL, and they look to be pretty good. I'm really hoping that Yongnuo will make a set of those for Nikon, and maybe a year from now I'll be back with a review on those. But in the meantime, go out and get yourself a set of these radio triggers. Buy them with confidence. You won't be disappointed. That's it for this one. We'll see you next time. Take care now.